Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. It's been a while. A little over 3 years now, I believe. But, I've said it before, Slay the Princess, definitely a bit of a mixed blessing. On the one hand, I'm very glad it was unexpectedly popular and really did great things for Black Tabby Games, but, as an OG fan of the Holler, it's been rough watching their focus shift so heavily towards something else. But at the very least, we did get to enjoy leaving off on a rare positive note for a while. The honeymoon phase, so to speak, a rare moment of warmth and happiness amidst all of the constant non-stop horrors that the Holler has to offer. I will also say it's kind of funny to be coming back to this game now, specifically, because this campaign, this story in general, starts with your character, a former city slicker and YouTube content creator in my particular case, having traveled to a middle-of-nowhere town in North Carolina because of a funeral, and then essentially finding their new home in those strange and esoteric hills. And in the meantime, since this series started, and honestly, I think since Chapter 4, my own mother passed away, which prompted me to also move up to the East Coast, not too far off from where Scarlet Hollow is supposed to actually take place. Funny to see life emulating art like that. That said, let's not waste any more time. We'll go for the recap, just to help refresh our memories, both yours and mine, and see where things go from there. You open your eyes. It's a new day. And you feel like shit. You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. Big Betty wasn't just a pumpkin, Deputy Franklin, sir. She was going to be a prize winner. Raising her was the last thing me and my daddy did together. She's important to our family. The Scarlet Hollow police are spread pretty thin at the moment, young man. Any property disputes will have to wait. If indeed there is a dispute to be had. Are you sure it wasn't some animal that took your vegetable? Sir, you know Mr. Tremaine thinks that land belongs to him. He probably thought Big Betty was his to take. He ain't coming to his door, so for all I know, he might be all the way to the state fair by now with our pumpkin. Ain't there something you can do about it? I'm so glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point that it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty. and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may, at the very least, be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here. A cat. An enemy. Lurking in plain sight. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, are you okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years. The planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases. His ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand. I'll pull you out. Leave us alone! Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Is this what you were so afraid of? Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. Before Dr. Kelly can fire, a different shot rings out. Reese's body is thrown to the wall. Shotgun in hand, your cousin rounds the corner and trains her weapon on his writhing body. You leap forward, placing your body between Tabitha and the whimpering Reese, his face already trying to stitch itself back together as he writhes on the ground. Both of you shut up and help me drag him into the safe room. Now! You turn to see Dr. Kelly, already pulling her son toward the open doorway. I just wanted to offer a suggestion for how to spend your time tomorrow. Tabitha will be busy out at the mines. Take advantage of that. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her around to stop you. Explore the estate. You might find something interesting, if you know where to look. So, are you coming in? Phrasing. You drift off together, limbs entwined, exhausted and safe, and comforted. Tomorrow may bring some new horror, or it might not. But whatever happens, you'll face it together. Wow, that was all one day. And to think it's somehow only going to get worse from here. Good to be back, though. Wake up. You wake to the sound of birdsong and to the welcome aroma of breakfast sizzling down the hall of Stella's intimately cozy cottage. As you stretch, the soft cotton of her sheets slides against your skin. The aches and pains you've accumulated this week feel distant, lessened by the brief lightness Stella has brought to your life. You've had a good night's sleep, and though you can tell it hasn't chased the bone-deep exhaustion away, you feel slightly more whole. You join her in the kitchen. Oh gosh, Well, if it isn't Stella's little overnight guest. So happy that she finally seems to be adding a third member to our little pack of 2. Also, Cat. Though I hope you know you'll need to make space for little old me on that bed if you intend to spend any more of your evenings here. We come as a pair, she and I. Okay, well that's slightly awkward, but you know what, Gretch? We'll maybe talk about that. If I live past this week. Retcon. I hope I wasn't too noisy in here. I wanted you to be able to get some more sleep. I know it's early. Still, it can't be too bad to wake up to somebody making pancakes for you, even if it is at the crack of dawn. You know what? I think I'll survive. Morning. You take a step forward, leaning in close. You can feel Stella's smile broaden as you plant a gentle kiss on her cheek. Oh, Retcon, you can do better than that. Before you can pull away, she takes your face in her flour-dusted hands, pressing her soft lips to yours. She smirks as she turns back to the pan. You know what, you're right. That was better. How'd you sleep? Aren't I the host here? Isn't that what I'm supposed to ask you? But I slept great. Of course I did. Thanks again for everything you did yesterday. You have no idea how light I feel right now. Well, you know, I think it's something that we both needed. And, you know, it was nice finally knowing I'd had something to look forward to in the morning. Someone. Stella's gentle smile spreads into a grin. Well, aren't you romantic? If you think my looks are nice, wait till you try my pancakes. These are what'll have you coming back for more. And that's the last one. Let's have ourselves a breakfast feast. Stella motions with a pancake-laden plate towards the table. You take a seat. All right, I'll bite. You take a multi-layered bite of Stella's pancakes. They're incredible. A perfectly crispy crust with a light and fluffy interior, still steaming from the heat of the pan, with a generous pour of maple syrup adding a flavorful sweetness. A rich, buttery aftertaste lingers on your palate. A stack of these, made with love by someone who cares about you, is a perfect way to start the day. Which, unfortunately, means that it's all downhill from here. Stella, look, I hate to bring down the mood, but do you think we should talk about Reese? Stella seems to choke slightly on her bite of food. I don't know what there is to talk about. I guess I'm just sorry I wasn't there to stop all that from happening. But it's too late to fix it now. Stella quietly stares down at her pancakes. I mean, I did everything I could. The situation just spun out of control so fast. I tried to make sure no one died. At the very least, we've got time now. Time to figure out some better long-term solution. Stella continues staring down at her pancakes. But her shoulders loosen, a forced smile plastered on her face. Oh well, no point in talking about it. We have a lot on our plate today. So many mysteries to solve. Yeah. Well, I for one am glad that you locked him away where he belongs. I hope we never see that deranged boy again. I told you, didn't I? I told you he was a monster. All right, Gretch, come on now. And, you know, not to keep the hits coming, but I really should mention, Wayne stopped by last night, before we turned in. I talked to him out on the porch. Whoa, that's scary. This is my house. I live here. What did he want? He specifically mentioned that Tabitha wouldn't be around the mansion today. That we should maybe have a look around. What a coincidence. I was just going to suggest snooping around the estate. And unless Wayne is lying, which maybe he is, it sounds like today is a perfect opportunity to snoop. Yeah, that's actually part of why I brought it up. You know Tabby better than I do. Do you know if she'll be there? I'm certainly not going on just Wayne's word alone. I know Tabby. She'll be at work. Plus, isn't there a strike going on or something? No way she's going to be relaxing at home today. We'll have the place to ourselves. Okay. You know, I still don't fully trust Wayne. I don't know what his deal is, but I am starting to get the impression that he is, in some way, trying to watch out for me. At the very least, there does seem to be something there that he wants me to see. Or us. It does seem like he knows a lot about the goings-on, even if he is creepy. So it's settled. The estate is our next destination. This is going to be so much fun. You have no idea how long I've wanted to go in there and see what's in all those dusty old rooms. I couldn't exactly sneak in when Pearl Ann was around, but now... The estate is practically begging to be the subject of my next video. Alright, pancakes have been eaten and I'm fueled up for today's activities. Let's head out. Stella stands up, Gretchen hopping down from her chair to stand at Stella's side, and the two of them lead you to the door and out into the chilly morning air. The walk through town is quiet. It's early, and though you can smell the diner cooking up breakfast for hungry miners and brewing coffee for cops to sip while ignoring the horrors plaguing Scarlet Hollow, Main Street is deserted. You and Stella feel like the only people in the world, watching the sun rise over the library. The estate looms over the three of you, more unwelcoming than it's ever been, as if the small bit of time you've spent away in a warm house still full of the love that built it has made the mere thought of the crumbling manor unbearable. Oh dear, I've forgotten how dreadfully thin the air all the way up here is. However does Miss Tabitha survive at so great an altitude? Perhaps that's why she's got such a sour disposition. Wow, I can barely remember the last time I made my way up that hill. Pearl Ann didn't exactly make it easy for me to see Tabitha, so we usually hung out anywhere else we could think of. Your aunt had a tendency to shoot first and ask questions later, so I figured it was best not to risk winding up on the business end of her shotgun. You only make that mistake once. Oh, Stella, too soon. I mean, after what happened with Duke and Reese. Though, I mean, to be fair, that is very indicative of her character. She definitely buries trauma behind quips and gallows humor. It's sad to see how much worse it's gotten. That cliff used to be a lot farther away from the house, but it's claimed a lot of ground. The place looks like it could fall any day now. Yeah, it's not great. It doesn't feel like a place that someone should still be living in, but I imagine there's good reason Tabitha still is. It used to be such a beautiful house. The odd sadness that creeps into Stella's eyes as she looks up at the place makes you wonder if it's really the house she's concerned about. After all, a home is often a reflection of its occupants. And even after what they had died a long time ago, it's never easy to see someone you once cared about decay and collapse in on themselves. Together, you cross the threshold, the ancient door creaking open to reveal the familiar, dusty foyer. Knowing Tabitha isn't here to keep you in line gives the place a new feeling, like you have complete ownership of the place and that any secrets it once held are yours to be uncovered, if only you can figure out where to look. You can feel how much the floor is tilting. Geez, the place has really gone to the dogs since the last time I was here. Why, I take offense to that. If it had gone to the dogs, there would be considerably more comfortable pillows, and considerably less cat. All right, Frou-Frou. Almost forgot about her. I can smell her already. That loathsome feline stench pervades every inch of this house. Everything feels so much older and disused. I can't believe Tabitha is still living here. I'm sure she has a lot of memories tying her to the place, but it feels like it could come down around our ears any second. So, where to first? Hey, I was following your lead, but if you're going to ask me, I feel like we should start with some dusting up. Let's go up to my room real quick. Oh, got something up there you want to show me? Stella gives you a flirtatious wink. No, what? No, nothing like that. I just want to introduce you to my little friend. Lead the way. The two of you make your way up the rickety staircase and into the guest room. Frou-Frou! Diable! Uh-oh. Sorry, Frou-Frou. So, we meet again, Frou-Frou. Why, it has been ever so long. I'm sure you've missed me terribly. If only you were in the grave where you belong. I would spit upon it. You'll have to wait a while to indulge in that pleasure, my dear feline friend. There they go, growling and hissing at each other just like always. Gretchen usually gets along really well with cats, but I guess Frou Frou is just too much of a capital C cat. Ugh. Well, I am loath to part with the lovely warm spot I have made on these empty sheets. I cannot stomach your foul doggy stench any longer. Frou Frou leaps from her spot on the bed, launching into the hallway and galloping down the stairs. Good riddance. Anyway, if I remember correctly, this is Perlan's old room, right? Tabitha really wasted no time getting this place turned over for guests. Oh, is it? Well, I mean, that might kind of explain a thing or two. Someone has been here. The closet is wide open and its contents have been dragged out into the room. A discolored residue smeared on some of the larger boxes, giving you a hint as to who might be behind the invasion of privacy. I mean, they're not my boxes, but sure, I guess. Which actually does make sense. I mean, Wayne would know I wasn't going to be here last night. Holy shit. That mess has got to be Wayne, right? I think I'd know if you were that messy. No comment. So wait, hold on a second. You're saying that if this is Perlan's room, is this where she died? I wouldn't know. Tabitha hasn't really said anything about it, but she did die in her sleep, so one can assume. It's okay. Now you can just sleep in my bed for the rest of the week. If Tabitha gets mad, oh well. She shouldn't have made you sleep in a dead lady's bed without even telling you. Yeah, I cannot argue with that. Anyway, you make your way to the dresser, pulling out the drawer to check on the little opossum and his mom. But they're gone. You rifle through the nest you made for them, but no opossums lurk within. It's just an empty drawer. Which is fair. Yeah, I suspected as much once we saw Frou Frou. Also, I guess Wayne was in here too. Oh, are you getting changed? I could give you some privacy. Or not. Whichever. Good grief, it absolutely reeks of opossum in there. Well shoot, I was hoping to introduce you to my buddy Dustin, but he seems to have gone MIA. Sure hope he's alright. He was an opossum. You know, sometimes I don't really think these things through before I say them out loud. Huh? You have a little opossum friend named Dustin who lives in your drawers. The drawers next to where you sleep? I'm, sorry your little friend wandered off. Opossums are very cute, I can understand why you'd worry. I guess Frou Frou probably spooked him, but he's a wild animal, so he'll be fine on his own. And, I'm glad you, took that shower at my place. You slide the drawer shut. I mean, look, he was here when I got here. If this room's really more his room than it is mine. You and Stella cross the room to investigate the open closet door. The back of it hangs slightly ajar. It looks like it was never a solid wall at all, but rather a door, previously hidden behind the pile of boxes and papers that was dragged out of the way overnight. There is no doorknob, only a small circle of metal where a doorknob would be, punctuated with a keyhole. You can't help but notice that the doll from the other day is conspicuously absent, both from the closet and from the pile of garbage flowing out of it. Is that a hidden door? Yes, I knew it! I knew there were going to be hidden passages. Yeah, one which Wayne clearly wanted us to see. Stella whips out her camera, nearly fumbling and dropping it in excitement. But she regains her steadiness, aiming into the gloom of the closet at the sliver of light from the room beyond. Stellars, you are not going to believe this. We're here in the Scarlet Estate trying to get to the bottom of what exactly is going on around town, and have just uncovered this hidden door in Retcon's closet. Yeah, Stella, I think you're right. This is definitely what Wayne wanted us to see. He clearly emptied out the closet so we'd find it. Does that mean Wayne knows about the layout of the Scarlet Estate? You know, I'm really starting to wonder what he has to do with all this. I don't like how close he seems to think he is with you. But maybe he knows what's going on. There also used to be a really creepy doll in here, but it's gone now. I wonder why. Maybe Wayne likes dolls. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. So not to, put a crimp in your plans here, but you don't think that Tabitha's going to kick up a fuss if you upload video footage of us tromping around her estate without permission? That's the nature of journalism. I take risks to get information out into the world. Whether that's the risk of bodily harm or legal consequences for sneaking into my friend's old house. If we don't find anything, then I don't post anything. But if we do find something and it blows your dark, possibly incriminating family secrets wide open, well, I guess that's a problem for future Stella to figure out. You know what? That's entirely fair, and hopefully future Retcon will still be right there with you to help navigate it. I like you, Stella. You're basically just me in a funhouse mirror. Guess that's why we get along. Alright, let's give this thing a look. There could be anything on the other side of that door. Some kind of unspeakable monster, maybe a devious trap, or maybe an answer to the mysteries that have been plaguing Scarlet Hollow. Or it could just be a boring room and all this buildup will have been for nothing. I mean, multiple people are dead, so... only one way to find out. Stella steps forward, filming as she dramatically opens the door, its hinges creaking appropriately. Together, you enter the forbidden wing of the Scarlet Estate. The room you find yourself in is mostly barren, with no real furniture to speak of. The wallpaper is peeling with neglect, and the floor tilts uncomfortably beneath you. Already you can see why Tabitha would be so intent on keeping you out of these unused rooms. This doesn't feel like a place for humans anymore. Stella continues forward excitedly, camera held up to catch every detail. You follow her into the hallway beyond the small, forgotten room. Wow, an exclusive look at the ruins of the Scarlet Estate. Even if we don't find anything supernatural in here, this is already great stuff. Oh, Stella, it's a miracle we've survived so long. The places you drag me to sometimes. My goodness gracious. Before you is a long hallway. Dust dances in the weak sunlight, beaming in through cracked glass. A tinge of mildew stings your nose, warning you away, though there's nowhere else to run to now. An ornate entryway, its door long gone, breaks the monotony of the faded wallpaper, and a staircase looms at the far end. You can't help but notice the tracks leading up and down the grimy hallway floor. And you aren't surprised to see Wayne's unmistakably large boot prints among their number. Clearly, the Forbidden Wing is only forbidden for some. Oh, these are fresh prints. These prints belong to that vile shell of a man. I'm certain of it. His scent is unmistakable. Looks like our friend has been doing some exploring of his own. We'll have to be careful. I'd rather not run into him while sneaking around in here. You both make your way to the dark doorway in the middle of the corridor. It seems like some kind of entertainment room. The sort you'd expect out of fancy rich people who want to show off. Ooh, look at that. That is very clearly an abstract vertical representation of the town's most prominent landmarks. Yeah, that's the mine. That's the church. The Scarlet Estate, where we are now. The town hall / library, the town itself. The hospital. The stench of mildew is strong here, your already weakened lungs aching from the strain of breathing in such toxic air. You can see why Tabitha doesn't want you exploring these rooms. Yeah, that's why. There is a large painting on the far wall of the room. From a distance, it looks like it might depict the town. Geez, it's a miracle any of this is still standing. Tabitha should really think about moving out before this half of the house decides to finish falling off the cliff. This room makes my nose tingle, and not in a pleasant sense of the word. Your eyesight isn't what it was just a few days ago, but you've learned to work around the degradation of your vision. As Stella excitedly films B-roll of the ruined parlor, your eyes are drawn to a bookshelf. Or rather, what's left of a bookshelf, hanging by a single, rusted hinge. Its sagging shelves reveal some sunless space beyond, once hidden, now exposed by the rot of this house. And it seems that Stella has spotted it too, as she turns her camera towards the dark entryway. A hidden room? Oh man! The fans are gonna love this. Yeah, let's hope. The painting highlights a number of old buildings and locales, many of which you've already visited. The town hall, the estate, the mines, and the clinic, still called a hospital at the time of this painting. The church, and then there's somewhere you've yet to see. The historical Callaway Tremaine homesteads. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I just assumed that was an abstract representation of the town itself. Interesting. And that would be our little town. Oh, there's a plaque under it. In commemoration of Enoch Scarlet, head of the Scarlet Hollow Landmark Revitalization Project. Let the past never be forgotten. Enoch, huh? The one that we suspect made a deal to preserve the life of his eldest son? Or was it his eldest son? Maybe his eldest son died in the war. It has been a while. Whichever one was badly injured in the mine collapse. Which is what we suspect those mysterious stones are for. The ones we keep stumbling onto at key locations. the mines, the library, the hospital. So 3 of these 6 locations. Oof. I feel like writing something like that is just asking to wind up gathering dust in a neglected room like this. Let this be a lesson to all my viewers looking to immortalize their life's work. So, all 2 of you, maybe. Alright, easy now. Between the 2 of us, we've got at least, 6, 7. Stella gives you a helpful boost over the wide crack on the floor, her strong hands hoisting you across with ease. Together, you duck between the shelves, entering the dark room. The space is dark, its features barely illuminated by the faint light trickling in through the myriad of cracks and holes in the walls. The wallpaper, a deep, exquisite red, adds a blood-like glow to the dimness. Oh my goodness, that is a whole mess of things. Some of which actually does look kind of familiar. I mean, in some cases, obviously just classic Greek or Roman myth, Janus, Atlas. But I feel like some of these knickknacks, these esoteric curio, also look familiar. The walls are lined with ornate display cabinets, some empty, some still presenting their antique treasures. Nestled between the cabinets, a single tall bookshelf remains standing, its occupants dusty but mostly intact. But all of these are ornamental details. Your focus is drawn to an expensive-looking antique desk in the center of the room. This room stinks to high heaven, and it's a lively stink, not like the dead stink of the rest of this awful house. Unless my nose deceives me, I do believe there is some kind of wild animal in here. A possum, if I had to hazard a guess. Dustin! But if anything tries to lay a single paw on my Stella, they'll have hell to pay. Mark my words. Gretchen barks out at the rest of the room, attempting to intimidate whatever it is she smells. Shh, Gretchen. We wouldn't want anybody to find us here. Who knows, they might try to seal it back up. Amontillado style. Yeah, careful what you ask for. Gretchen quiets down, but that doesn't stop her from thoroughly investigating the space. This is it, Stellars. The kind of find every urban explorer hopes for. A hidden room locked away in the Scarlet Estate, full of weird artifacts and keepsakes no one was ever supposed to find. They weren't counting on a couple of investigative documentarians like us to go looking. But here we are, about to blow your family's sordid past wide open. Yeah, sure. So is that what we are now? Investigative documentarians? I mean, look, I'm not questioning it, weren't you literally just complaining you only had 2 viewers? Well, it's what this YouTuber is. I've been thinking of opening with that instead of the YouTube thing. Then I wouldn't have to explain what YouTube is to any old people who ask what I do for a living. Not that the old people around here don't already know all about it and have YouTube accounts just so they can follow my channel. But, hypothetical future old people I might meet. Yeah, sure. You step toward the desk. Maybe there's something worth finding in its drawers. Dustin? The top drawer mostly contains old-timey letter-writing materials, complete with a fancy dagger-shaped letter opener, and a wax stamping kit emblazoned with the initials E.S. The wax seems slightly gnawed. E.S. Enoch Scarlet. Underneath, you find a pile of crumbling financial documents. Scrawled in neat cursive in almost every spot that needed a signature is the name Enoch Scarlet. This must be his desk, meaning this must also be his study. And hidden among the documents, you find an ancient photograph. A stern, blond man stares up at you from the detritus at the bottom of the drawer. A face you're surprised to find that you recognize. Theodore Scarlet. It's the man from your vision, the one in the hospital bed. Hey, I've seen that before. That's the picture of Theodore that they put in the local history books. That's your great-great-uncle or something. The one who died in the collapse. Yeah, funny you should mention that. Because I've got it on pretty good authority, he did not, in fact, die in that collapse. In fact, he may not have died at all. You know, I just had a vision about him yesterday. No way. Yeah, during that whole thing with Reese, there was a period where we found a stone and I saw a vision of Enoch in a hospital after the mine collapse talking about how a witch was going to help him fix things with Teddy. That she'd fix him and he'd come home. Stella focuses the camera on you as you explain the vision you saw yesterday. She's clearly shocked by this revelation, drinking in every word, eyes growing wide. A witch? And then somehow they managed to convince the whole town that Teddy died in the collapse? And if he didn't, and some witch was involved? Sounds to me like your family has more than just Charlie Shaw's skeleton in their closet. Oh yeah, Charlie, the ghost haunting the library. A lot of weirdness in this town. You close the drawer. The bottom drawer jams as you attempt to pry it open. It would seem that, even after all of these years, the lock on it still holds. If only you had a little more strength. But your strength is Charlie's now, isn't it? Hold on, let me give it a shot. Don't overwork yourself. With a thunk of cracking wood, it slides open. Dustin! Also Dustin's mom. You're surprised to see familiar faces staring up at you from within a nest of odd glass vials. Vermin! Let me at them! I'll tear their little throats out! Whoa, hey, calm down, Gretch. We don't need you getting riled up right now. Please, no kill. Dustin already dead. Blah. Dustin and Dustin's mom play dead. No, we were too late. They're already gone. Gretchen, I told you. I literally just told you, like, a few rooms ago that I had friends here who were also possums. Could you maybe not kill them? Oh, is this Dustin? Why, I didn't know you went around befriending every disgusting little wild animal in town. I was unaware I associated with someone of such low breeding. Okay, easy now, Gretch. You're getting a whole lot less cute really fast. Though, I suppose I could learn something from you. It could reflect well on me, to choose to mingle with the occasional riffraff. One shouldn't be too unkind to those who are lesser, even if it means I must put up with such odorous beasts as these. Uh-huh. How gracious and open-minded of you. Thank you. Yes, I will somehow find it in my heart to look past this. I am a lady, after all. Uh-huh. As the barking stops, Dustin stirs, life returning to his tiny body, though his mom remains in her half-dead state.
That right. Dustin and human friends.
Damn straight.
And human big and strong. Protect Dustin from ugly dog.
Alright, easy now, bud. She's literally toothless, I think you're good. So this is where you got off to. Yeah, I noticed you weren't in my room when I came back.
Other human came into room. Scary human. It scared Dustin and Dustin mom. Other human did much moving around. Dustin afraid that Dustin house would be moved too. And maybe Dustin would be eaten by scary human. But Dustin know about many places to hide. So Dustin and Dustin mom come here.
Really? Well, you know, my friends and I are actually exploring the Forbidden Wing right now. I don't suppose you could tell me about more places like this one?
Secrets. Dustin not know about many secrets. Dustin know upper rooms scary. Smell like blood and storms. Not good hiding places when human come. That's why Dustin down here instead. Nobody ever come here. Plenty little dark place to sleep too. Other secret Dustin know is stuff that look like food in other small house, not actually food. It not stop Dustin from trying to eat it though.
The shed? The greenhouse?
Could turn into food when Dustin not looking.
Yeah, okay, that's gotta be the greenhouse. Which is also where Dustin mom used to live before she was evicted by Wayne? I don't know if we ever actually established what was in the greenhouse. Well, hey, Dustin, look, it's great to see you're still safe out here. Do you, weird question, but could I pet you? Dustin appears to think about this, glancing at the form of his pseudo-dead mother, then back up at you.
"'Kay."
Oh, Dustin, I love you. You carefully run a hand along Dustin's back, rubbing him gently between the ears. He closes his eyes, seeming to enjoy the interaction as much as you do. He feels oddly greasy and his fur is coarse and thick, but his tiny body is warm and comforting beneath your palm.
Aw, how sweet. I'll edit that part out of the video. We don't need commenters starting any fights about petting wild animals. They wouldn't understand that you have some otherworldly bond with every animal you meet. Though, maybe exploring that could make for an interesting new series.
So hey, Dustin, you know, Wayne seems to have finished whatever he was doing in there. You gonna come back to my place?
This just Dustin house on weekend. But Dustin can wait for next weekend.
Fair enough. Hey, a bit of a vile request, but you mind if I grab a few of those bottles while I'm here? I could trade you for them. I'm sure I've got something more comfortable. Dustin glances down at the vials underneath him and his death-feigning mom. He takes a moment before responding, clearly thinking long and hard about it.
"'Kay, weird egg not as warm as nice clothes human gave Dustin anyway."
You slide a number of vials out from beneath Dustin and his mom, who is still stiff as a board. Yeah, rest in peace, Dustin's mom. Sorry I killed you. A tiny trickle of drool leaks from the corner of her mouth, leaving a damp trail along the width of them. Yep, she's dead. She is super dead. Alright, well, bye, Dustin. Bye, Dustin's mom. Hope you get better.
Okay.
You close the drawer, returning Dustin and Dustin's mom to their hideaway before turning to Stella with your haul of glass vials.
Dustin, lucky that human have rare good nature. Lucky human reign in hell beast. Dustin almost die like siblings.
Yikes.
All right, let's see what we've got in these bad boys. You can do the honors while I hold the camera.
Right. Let's see what we got. You hold up one of the vials, twisting the cork. It unseals with a pop, releasing a smell like an old pond, like decaying leaves and damp earth. You tug at the corner of the slip of paper and it unfurls the writing across its surface, as crisp and clear as if it had just been written. To Miss Maeve. I know it has been several years since my last visit, but I do hope you remember the young lad who used to find himself at your doorstep, more than you probably would have liked. I write to you now with the utmost urgency. I'm not sure if news has yet reached you regarding what transpired just yesterday. But the paper dissolves before you can finish reading it, as if it finally realized that it had been submerged all these years, turning to useless pulp between your fingers.
These papers smell so strange, like the woods at night or old leaves. I would be able to pinpoint it better if not for the overwhelming reek of those filthy opossums.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say those are tea leaves.
Dang. Were you able to get through that? You turned to mush before I could get through a few lines.
Stella, you're holding a camera. Did you not record it? I feel like we should just be able to play that back and read it at our leisure, but... I mean, for me personally, I made out part of it. Something about Miss Maeve, someone coming to her door.
Yeah, that was about all I got, too. Man, it's almost like it was made to not be read. Or it's just really old. Still, maybe if we keep going, we can piece enough of it all together. What do you think?
It's unlikely you'll have a chance to return here, and the vials seem too delicate to safely carry with you. Keep reading. Oh boy, that's a tough one. I mean, on the one hand, it could actually be valuable info, especially if Stella actually records us opening them, but on the other hand, we are actively destroying potentially useful... Well, not just clues, but it could actually have magic or esoteric value. The destruction of these letters could represent more than simply the destruction of potential evidence. It could actually be talismans, catalysts, some sort of magical anchors. Miss Maeve, have we heard that name before? I feel like it's new. Nothing's springing to mind, but it has been a while. It's literally been 3 years since we played Chapter 4. Alright, well, you know what? We're like an hour in. This feels like a good place to call it for the moment. Buy myself some breathing room, go rehydrate, rest my throat, and put some thought towards whether or not we should potentially destroy the rest of these vials just to glean a little extra info. I mean, I will say, right now, I am already kind of leaning towards yes, because I may be a little too curious for my own good, but I do want to go back and review what we did back in the first 4 chapters first. Make sure there's nothing I'm very blatantly overlooking here. That's it. Yeah, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will go and do those things, and we will pick up here shortly, because, man, it is great to be back. It is rough, though. I don't want to rush through it too fast because I know it's going to be another couple of years before we get Chapter 6. But, that's the real curse of the Scarlet Hollow. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Era Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description. To all 2 of my viewers out there.